Time for a brand new episode of Gimme the Hot Sauce. We are excited about the start of the NFL season coming up. September 7th, it's going to be the defending Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs taking on the Detroit Lions. The Bears, of course, open at Soldier Field against their arch rivals, the Green Bay Packers, and we're going to have Mark Grody on later to talk about all things Bears. We also have a very special guest coming up for Bulls and NBA fans, also a guy who played some college football as well. Nate Robinson, the three-time slam dunk champion, is going to join us in a little bit. First, I want to welcome in Stacey King, who joins us from his home. Stacey, how you feeling today?
Feeling pretty good, Mark. And how about yourself?
Hey, we're doing all right. And, of course, Tim is back from Fort Myers. Had another accident with your cable service. That's why we didn't have you on the show last week.
Yeah, I didn't realize these guys do landscaping with machetes still. Whack the cable line and stick it up out of the ground like it did. That's twice in 1 year. So, yeah, a little shocking, but we buried it deeper and put a protective pipe over it, and hopefully I'll be good for years to come.
Yeah, landscaping is supposed to be above the ground, not beneath the ground.
This was remarkable. I mean, I ran over to Xfinity, traded out the modem. I mean, I was doing everything like in a panic to get on the show to talk to our great friend artist there, but no dice.
Yeah,
it was not to be.
Jeez.
Well, it looks like you were trying to fix the cable outside yourself, as red as you are right now, Larry the Lobster.
You don't understand
red there, buddy.
You don't know what else is going on in my life. There's a lot of pressure. I'm like a boiler about to pop here.
Hey man, you can tell when Tim has been in Florida. It's so obvious.
Is it?
he's like
a shed a layer.
Some sizzling bacon. Skin just sizzles.
Yeah, it's kind of nice though. You don't understand how this feels. I'm warm and toasty all inside.
Yeah, we have a graphic somewhere. I don't know if you guys can see that graphic of that we have Tim in Florida. We can get our
Larry the Lobster eating at Red Lobster.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard Fran talking about that.
Hey, what's my idea, man?
Yeah, keep your ideas to yourself.
Yeah, that looks about right.
Matty Ice, baby. Matty Ice is the content creator. Shout out to Matty Ice.
Hey, let's talk a little bit of basketball before we bring Nate Robinson in. Obviously, it's kind of the slow period before teams report to training camp, but there is hoops going on a world level. The FIBA World Cup tournament is going on. Of course, Team USA has rolled through the opposition as we expected, a perfect 3-0 record as they advance to the second round. Stacey, I don't know if you had a chance to watch too much of the action there, but what do you think about the team put together by Grant Hill and Steve Kerr? They've been pretty impressive in those 3 wins.
Well, I mean, we talked about it last week. I mean, it's a team with high basketball IQ. Guys can play multiple positions, and that's what you need when you're in this international game because, the center is pretty much obsolete, and you've got guys playing that are actually, stretch fours, playing fives. You need versatility. You need to be able to shoot the basketball. They seem to have all that covered, and they seem like they like playing with each other. Like there's no egos out there. I know Brandon Ingram's not happy with his role, but who's going to be happy on their role coming from being a star off their NBA team to being playing with a bunch of other stars? You really have to leave your ego at the door when you start coming in and starting to play with these other elite players. You're not going to be the number one option like he is in New Orleans. You're going to have to find a way. Maybe it's rebounding. Maybe it's defense. Maybe it's passing the ball. At the end of the day, it's all about winning the championship.
Yeah, and it looks like if they're going to win a gold medal at the World Cup, they're going to have to run smack into Canada. I mean, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander's not taking any prisoners with that team. They've got R.J. Barrett, a number of NBA guys, and that Team USA against Canada game potentially could be really something to watch.
Well, there's a lot of really good players. R.J. Barrett's on that team. You got Dwight Powell. I mean, they've got a very good team. That looks like the team that could get to the finals. But, anytime Luka's still around, Luka Doncic is still can carry a team and take them to the finals. The USA has to play Vooch in the next round, Montenegro, which is, I think, ranked 18th in the world. But you never know. You never know what happens in these games. He can go on a tangent. He's had a really good summer where he's averaged probably about 24 points a game and double-digit rebounds. So, he's the main guy on that team. I don't think they have enough firepower to beat the USA, but that next game coming up after that is Lithuania, and they could be very, very, very dangerous. And then, you got Serbia. You got Bogdanovic is playing out of his mind. I always loved that kid, man. I wish there was a way that the Bulls could get that kid. That kid is a flat out. He can shoot the basketball. And I think when you look at him when he's in Atlanta, he kind of gets overshadowed, by the other guys on the team, Trae Young and and all the other players and John Collins and all those guys were there. But he is such a really, really heady player. He can play, man. I loved watching him play.
It's interesting. I saw some highlight clips of the Montenegro games, and obviously Vuce has been their star. He's been the guy that's been their go-to guy on the offensive end. But their coach is actually going with twin towers at times with our old buddy Marko Simonovic. How about that? You got the 2 7-footers in there. I mean, it's been kind of interesting to see.
Well, I mean, listen, no, we really didn't know if Marko could play.
Yeah.
I mean, he played in the G League. It would have been nice to see him get some minutes here, with the Bulls roster, but we never really got a chance to see if he could play. But he's a different player in Europe. He's a different player in Europe. He's going to get a lot of minutes. He's a guy that has a lot more confidence when you give him confidence. So I would have loved to see him be able to play in Chicago just to see what he could do. Like, what is his strengths? What is his weaknesses? Can he be developed, into the player that the Bulls need? We never knew that. I mean, he played in the G League more than he played on the main roster. So, but he's playing well in Europe.
Yeah, I saw him a lot, Stacey. I know his strengths and weaknesses.
Mark, you got to understand this. You got a kid who was drafted, and then you go down there and play a few G League games. Okay, you go down there and play a few G League games. The team sends you down there to get a little run because there's not a lot of practice. Okay, so that's cool for them. Okay, we go down a couple games, get some confidence, whatever. But when you start being regulated down there, your confidence has to be shot a little bit. Like, wow, I can't even get any minutes. We're getting some nights getting beat on the boards, and we need size, and they're not even utilizing me. And confidence was ruined a little bit. Maybe he just didn't have the heart to go down there and play as much as he did. I'm gonna give him the benefit of doubt. Because until you saw him on the NBA roster, you don't know what he could have done. You don't know what he could have done. I mean, the kid's an athlete. He can run the floor. Yes, he does have to get stronger. We knew that. But that's what development is. You have to develop these kids. If it takes him 3 years to get where he needs to be, then it takes 3 years for him to get there. Look at Lowry Markkanen. Look at some of Cameron Payne. Look at some of these guys that we had on our roster. Doug McDermott, who one of the top 3-point shooters in the game. They struggled here. And then they went somewhere else and got developed, and now they turn out to be pretty good, solid NBA players. So you have to be patient with guys. That's why it's so hard for, telling fans, like, don't write off Kobe White. Don't write off, Patrick Williams. Be patient. Let them develop. I know they're not developing at the pace that they want, but give them a chance to develop.
Speaking of G League, how about the G League MVP? Ilnyckj Jones is playing for the South Sudan. They've won 2 games, and in the first victory, Ilnyckj had like 35 points and 10 assists. I'll tell you what, Stacey, watching him play every game in the G League, this kid is an NBA player. It's just, I don't know if he'll get a chance with the Bulls because they have so many point guards on the roster.
Well, and that's one of the problems. It's really guard heavy. And then you just brought back Io. You got Kobe who signed a contract. There's really no place, for him. And it's really sad because he's an NBA player. And he might have to go the route of Spencer Dinwiddie, where he might have to go back down to the G League. I know he's going to get overseas offers, and it's going to be hard for him to turn down guaranteed money over there because they do have big money in Europe for players like him. So he'll have to make a decision. I think if I'm his agent, I'm saying, hey, give the G League, because the Bulls can't, make a deal to keep you, maybe stay in the G League till the first of the year, and then we can go overseas, because I think he's garnered enough attention through G League, through the Summer League, and now what he's doing overseas, that some teams are going to look at him and say, hey, you know what? He could be a Javon Carter type player for us, but more offensive minded. A kid can come in and get some scoring from the point guard position. He can shoot the basketball. So he's got a good chance to be on somebody's roster.
Yeah, and for people who aren't aware, Ilnyckj Jones is under contract with the Bulls for the upcoming season, but it's a non-guaranteed deal. I believe they have to some date in early December to make a decision on whether or not they want to go forward with Ilnyckj. And, they signed Terry Taylor to the roster, and you think that with the glut of guards coming out of training camp, if they find a big guy that's available either, through waivers or maybe a free agent pickup, that makes Ilnyckj as a guy who's vulnerable because his deal's non-guaranteed.
Yeah, and I feel bad for him too, because he deserves to be on someone's roster. I mean, he's proven himself to be an NBA type player. Fortunately, on this team, it's just so guard heavy with so many guaranteed contracts. It's just hard to, find a position for him. The only thing I can see it working, and again, the Bulls have always, struggled with injuries in the beginning of the season. If someone gets hurt, for a couple of weeks, and then he has to be able to fill that spot, and then he comes out there and plays so well, you can't get rid of him now. So, and that's, you don't want to hope anybody gets hurt, but that probably would be his only opportunity to be there. I really like Ilnyckj. I think he's I think he's a bona fide scorer in this league. I think he can handle the ball, get you in your offense. I think he can be a good serviceable guard coming off your bench in a rotation.
Yeah, and we talked about the World Cup. Nations from all over the world are participating in this, and that actually triggered a real interesting comment from the track star Noah Lyles, who made a big deal of the fact that why is the NBA champion calling themselves world champions when it's just in North America? You know, they're not playing against teams from Europe and all the other countries, and I don't know why he decided that it was his place to call this out. What did you think of those comments?
Man, you know what? I thought it was a shame. I said because he just did something very special that hasn't been done in a while, because Usain has been dominating. The Jamaicans have been dominating the sprints, and it's been a while since USA has claimed the 100 and the 200. As long as Usain Bolt was swimming in that water like the great white shark, they wasn't winning nothing. So and they weren't getting second place because there was another runner there that always finished second behind Usain. So this was like a really good thing. And so when you got the world stage like that, and no one asked him anything. No one said, "Hey, do you think LeBron James can beat you in the 100?" I mean, no one asked him an NBA question. No one said anything.
Oh.
Yeah, we lost Stacey briefly. I know that we were having problems with his feed from his palatial estate. They were saying his bandwidth is low, so we'll try to reestablish him. What did you think of the Noah Lyles comments?
I think it's a great way to start an energy drink.
They're
Get your name out there. Oh,
and it's
Stacey's back.
Huh?
We lost you for a minute, Stacey. So
didn't realize you didn't stop talking.
So I went to Tim to get his esteemed comments on the situation, but we got you back. So let's let you make your point here.
It was really a bad take. I mean, no one asked him that question. No one said, hey, what about the NBA being world champions? So that was a stage for him to take credit and say, hey, look, you know what? I'm thankful. Thank you for my teammates, all the people who, believed in me. That was something to really, put out there for other people that supported you. If you want to get on the world stage and make a point, talk about things that are going on in this country that need to be addressed. The Jacksonville shooting where, 3 African-Americans were shot by a racist guy in a store. Talk about that. If you don't want to talk about politics, then stick to track. Don't throw another team under the bus, because the USA, everybody's cheering for the USA. It doesn't matter which sport it is. It could be, field hockey. It could be, we're cheering for our country. We want all our countrymen to do well. If you go back to those Olympics, Mark, how many times you see when Kobe Bryant was playing on the routine team that he went to go watch, the girls play, swim, the track, all the athletes support one another. And for him to do that, I just thought it was kind of like a cheap shot, and there was no need to do that. And he got attacked by every NBA player, every old NBA player. And the whole fraternity came out at him.
Yeah.
And then, fans don't understand. There's like, well, it's not really a world championship. Well, if the Olympics, I consider the Olympics is a world championship, because if he's running in track and Jamaica's bringing their best team, Germany's bringing their best runners, Spain's bringing their best runners, and it's the world. So why isn't the Olympics considered the world? Because they're bringing their best, Spain's bringing their best basketball team, Lithuania, all their countries are bringing their best players, and we're bringing our best players. The USA's record in the Olympics is like 141-6. And since the Dream Team, since the 92 Dream Team came aboard, they're 54-4. And they just complete domination. So when you talk about world championships, maybe the NBA is not world champions, but the USA is world champion. And our people, our guys that we send over there, no matter who we send over there, except for the time when they sent LeBron and those guys over there, when they were younger, D Wade and Carmelo, when they lost, I think they got the bronze, I think.
Yeah, 2004.
And then the last college team before, when John Thompson was coaching, they finished third. So, you got to be careful what you say. And again, that was a place for him he could have said a million other things, but to throw the NBA under the bus was just, come on, man, it's not even necessary.
Whispers, finish your point.
I was saying it's a great way to launch a energy drink. I mean, we didn't know his name before this, or at least on as wide of a level that it is. So I think it's time for the Lyle drink, or whatever he might call it.
Looking for a little sponsor money, huh?
That's right, because there's one thing that does fail in this that sport compared to the rest of the world. They're not getting the money that the rest of the world
gets. There's money in track and field.
There's money in track and field.
Yeah. Especially if you win.
Yeah.
But then you have to take advantage of it for that time.
Here's the deal, though. Here's the deal. You got bigger fish to fry in the Olympics in Paris. Okay, that because you might have won the world championships, but you better believe them Jamaicans are going to be ready for that Olympics because everybody gears up for the Olympics. Everyone gears up for the Olympics. That's where their mindset is, the Olympics. Even though it's every 4 years, the best athletes in track, swimming, gymnastics, Bob, no, not bobsledding. Not we're talking about in the summertime, the Summer Olympics.
Oh,
this guy always interjects.
The Jamaican man. Jamaican
Bob's
a cool run.
Where's our sled man?
Hey, listen, that's why I wish I had that. I wish I had those little dog collars I could shock whispers. Every time he says something, just shock it.
You never know what whispers.
You never know what's going to come out of his mouth, man. He has no filter, America.
More could come out.
Hey, looks like it's a good time to take an ad break. Let's talk about our good buddy, Jeff Vukovich. When it comes to insurance for your auto, home, and business, make sure you contact the king of insurance, our good friend, nationwide agent, Jeff Vukovich. You can reach him at jeffvuk.com. That's jeffvuk.com, or at 847-825-4783. And he has the best jingle in the business. Stacey, how the Golden Pipes today?
Come on, Mark.
Always
Mark.
good.
You know they're always silky smooth, bro.
Just like his hips.
Cool runnings, right?
That's right.
Wow.
Titanium.
He's ready.
Wow.
He's ready for the Olympics himself now.
Well, you over there making fun of the hips are ready, baby. I'm like an old lion now. I can track down the gazelles now, baby.
I thought I heard some Barry White in the background.
Nationwide is on your side.
All right, full service from Stacey King.
Jeff is overdue for an inside visit.
Yeah, we got to get him here. He loves to talk sports. He's at all the games at the United Center.
Yeah, it's time for him to come in. It's been a year since he even called. Said, I'll be in next month.
We'll have to get him in here. We'll grill him about what's going on with the local teams. And one of the teams that we should ask him about, we're going to ask Stacey about right now. If you're watching on YouTube, he's sporting that lovely Sox hat, which is one of the most popular items among athletes worldwide. It's a great logo, but unfortunately the team is in disarray. And Stacey, I know you probably had other things going on this afternoon, but they just had a news conference where they announced Chris Getz as their new head of baseball operations. Chris Getz is a former player. He was a utility infielder, 7 years in the major leagues. He's been in the Sox organization for the last 7 years, first as a scout and then helping with player development. He was director of player development for the last couple of years, an assistant GM. And a lot of Sox fans are unhappy that they decided to go inside the organization after firing both Kenny Williams and Rick Hahn. And even Jerry Reinsdorf answered questions today, Stacey. He was asked about the state of the franchise and basically said that, this is my team. I'm going to make the decisions that I think are best for the White Sox. He conceded that, being 87 years old, that he doesn't have a lot of time left. So it's not like he wants to start a massive rebuild. So he felt most comfortable going with a guy like Chris Getz, who knows the minor league system, who knows guys that should be developed and invested in, and guys that maybe could be traded for other assets. What's your whole read on what's going on with the White Sox right now?
Well, I mean, listen, it's like baseball. It's like you have baseball players in the farm system. You develop them, you bring them up from, single A, double A, triple A, and then hopefully they're able to come in and contribute on the major league team. And you do it with the front office too. And this is the reason why you have all these guys in your organization, in the front offices, in your triple, double, single A, where they're learning and they're learning on the job and they're getting the experience that they need, managing minor league teams. I know it's not a major league team, but that's what it is. And if you know anything about Jerry, Jerry's loyal to his employees. It doesn't matter if they're the Bulls, doesn't matter if it's the White Sox. He's very loyal. You saw Kenny Williams being there as long as he has. Just check the track record. And Jerry may be 87 years old. Jerry, 87 for Jerry Reinsdorf is like, 67. That's the new 67. He is sharp as a tack, man. And he's not going to be bullied into, making decisions. It's his decision. He's going to go with it. He loves that baseball team. And he's going, if he feels that's the right move, you got to respect that. Regardless of the fans like it or not, it's not going to sway his decision, what the outside world thinks. And I think fans got to understand that, because talk radio, podcast, you get a chance to voice your opinion of the owner not doing what you want him to do. Jerry has never been swayed by that. He's going to make the decisions that he feels best for his team. And, whether it works, we have to wait and see.
One of the things that surprised me in Chris Getz's comments was he immediately said that Pedro Grifol will be back as manager in 2024, and obviously he signed a 3-year contract. I know that they don't like to eat the 2 years remaining on that deal, but we've also heard reports about no rules on the team, different rules for different players, a player falling asleep in the bullpen, and that goes back on the manager and the coaching staff. Do you feel like Grifol has earned another shot at it next season, Stacey?
Well, I mean, Mark, I mean, how much is that? How much is that true, and how much is that fact? We don't really know what goes on there, but I do know this as a player. When you have a coach that doesn't have managerial experience, it's just like in the NBA. If you have a coach that hasn't never played the game, or he doesn't have a lot of NBA experience, players recognize that and they push the envelope. And certain players, including star players, they impose their will on those young coaches. And, you've got to establish culture. You got to be able to walk in. That's why I said about Phil Jackson. Phil Jackson could have came in and just folded under Michael Jordan. This is his first head coaching job. He could have folded and said, I'm going to do what Michael wants. We're going to run these plays. And that didn't happen. He came in right from the get-go. And then, it's like going to prison. Like you go in there and you want to fight the biggest dude first. And you might lose, but you're going to get respect of everybody else. And that's kind of what you have to do as a coach, is you got to come in and you got to challenge your superstars first and then put them on notice. Like, hey, there's not going to be no cutting corners. There's going to be rules and guidelines. Now, you can't treat everyone the same, but you have the same rules. You know what I'm saying? You can't let certain players get away with certain things when they're rule breaking. Everybody gets treated the same way on that way. But, it's going to be interesting to see how year 2 is going to be for him, because now he's got the backing of management. So there's no excuse now that you can't come in there and really impose your will. You just got to hope that it's not too late, that you've already, it's like, you have your regular school teacher in high school, and then you get the substitute comes in on Friday because the teacher calls in sick. And when the regular teacher's there, you can't chew gum, can't ask to go get a hall pass, go to the bathroom, no talking. But when the substitute comes, it's party, party, party. You're getting hall passes 3 or 4. I got to go to the bathroom 3 or 4 times. You're walking around seeing your friends in the hallway. Hey, what's up, man? You take advantage of the substitute. So let's hope that it's not like that they come in next year with a different attitude. They're frustrated how this season ended. Maybe they want to turn it around. But I think you got to get your star players to buy in first.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see the White Sox farm system ranked near the bottom of the major leagues, and Chris Getz was in charge of that. Hopefully they can find some solutions to turn things around on the south side. And Whispers, if you were a relief pitcher, would you be sleeping in the bullpen, or would you be smuggling some Sam Adams out there so you could have a few beers?
Well, I'd first have Sam Adams, then take a nap, and then wait for my name to be called.
Whispers is going to be out there finding a way to get a couple drinks in, right?
Especially with the right contract, it's just easy to manage.
I can't even imagine Whispers being a relief pitcher. You'd probably be the most disengaged guy out there.
I'd be relieved.
Yeah, you'd be relieved of your duties pretty quick.
He wouldn't even know what day it is.
Wow.
Hey, before we bring Nate Robinson in, just want to give a quick shout out to the Cubs, who have closed within 3 games of the Brewers after taking 2 out of 3 against Milwaukee. Stacey, they are on fire. Their record is really impressive since July 1st, and looks like if they can get the pitching that they need, they could be going on to the playoffs this year.
I tell you what, man, I mean, they're having fun. And when you're having fun and, you're playing with house money, I don't think anybody expected them to be in this position. They went through a stretch where they were losing games, and I think people counted them out. And then all of a sudden they righted the ship. They got their hitters started hitting. They started getting some contributions from guys that were not contributing in the beginning. They got hot. They got hot at the right time, and they're going in with some momentum. It's going to be a competitive, I can't wait to the postseason, because there's going to be some really, really good games. I mean, if you look at Atlanta and the Dodgers, those 2 teams right now are the 2 favorites in the NL, but you never know. If you get a team coming in there, they have nothing to lose, and their pitching can hold up, and they can, try to steal some games. I wouldn't count the Cubbies out, baby. They've been there before. It's not their first time at the rodeo.
We got Nate in the waiting room.
Yeah, we're going to bring Nate in. Just want to wrap it up with the Cubs, saying that they beat Milwaukee's best 2 pitchers in Corbin Burns and Brandon Woodruff 1-0 and 3-2. So great pitching performances from Justin Steele and Kyle Hendricks. The Cubs are hot. Hopefully they can carry that into September. But coming up next, it is Mr. Excitement, Nate Robinson, next on Gimme the Hot Sauce. And we got a special treat now for Bulls and NBA fans. The guy known as Mr. Excitement during his time with the Chicago Bulls, spent 2 great seasons here in Chicago. Nate Robinson joins us now. Nate, first of all, welcome to Gimme the Hot Sauce. And, well, you had that great game in the playoffs against the Heat where you almost beat them single-handedly. What stands out about that day?
Oh, man. I mean, you always get hyped up to play against, the King, D-Wade, Chris Bosh, Ray Allen, all the greats. We just wanted to show them, who we were, regardless of the record, regardless of how we played throughout the season. We knew that was going to be a battle because, we battled them all year. We beat them at home in their place. We beat them with when they had it was going on that 30-game win streak or whatever it was. We ended that. So, we knew that we can compete and play against them, but we knew it was going to take all of us. But, the Miami Heat, they were so deep. That team was so deep and so talented, man. And you see what they did throughout the season.
Nate, talk about your experience playing with Coach Tibbs. You hear a lot of outside people go, "Oh, he's hard to play for, this and that." But every player you interview, they always speak nothing but high praise. So talk about your experience playing with Coach Tibbs.
Coach Tibbs was great, man. I mean, he's like a father, bro. He's a father that, that gets on your nerves because he expects so much out of you. No, for real. He got that raspy voice that hate hearing it. And it's like, damn, dad, again. You feel that way about that voice, that trigger. It triggered something in you just to want to play hard and want to give it your all, bro. Like, he expects so much out of you because he put so much in the game. He put so much in film and knowing each guy's tendency, even knowing the coaches, guy's history. Like, he's a student of the game, and he expects that out of all his players, man. And he helps guys grow up. He helped me grow up a lot. When I was with the Celtics with him, and when I was with the Bulls, he helped me grow up a lot because when I was with the Bulls, I was like 3rd, 4th string point guard coming off the bench, and I knew at some point he was going to have to play me. And when guys got hurt and went down, I was always there available. I went to every practice, played every preseason, postseason. Me and Gimme was the only player, I think, that whole season that didn't miss a practice or game, preseason game, postseason game, and regular season game that whole year. So with Tibbs, man, he just made, he was just like my dad. My dad, I remember just being on my ass a lot of the time. And he was like, son, I'm preparing you for something great. And that's what Tibbs was doing. He was preparing me for that opportunity that I got to play with Chicago and to leave that mark that I did with the fans and the people and all the supporters of Chicago Bulls. Everywhere I go in Chicago, everybody always says, man, miss you here in Chicago. Come back, man, come back. They don't even know I'm damn near 40, and they still want me back. So that's when you've done something well throughout your time in the league.
Nate, obviously, I know a lot of fans realize that you went to University of Washington. You were a football player.
Yeah.
Tell us your memories about playing football and how hard was that to give that up?
It was difficult, man. I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to quit football, but, God was just, showing me, speaking to me in a different way, showing me this is the route I want you to go. God saved my life for picking the right sport, man. Glad I picked basketball. And for me, playing football, it gave me such a joy, man. I was just so happy playing because it was just so natural to run, jump, throw, catch, tackle. I just felt like a kid out there. I think that's why I was so good because I wanted to play. I didn't really feel like it was a job or a task that I had to do. It was just I'm having fun playing the game that I love. And I think that carried over playing basketball too, man. But giving it up, it was hard. I cried. I remember the day when I, told my mom and my dad, like, I think this is a sign with my coach getting fired, my football coach, Coach Rick Neuheisel, getting fired, that it was time for me to go play basketball and show people that I can go to the NBA. I can play and make it to the NBA. With playing basketball, even though I was, low average with height. I wasn't a pure point guard. I just want to show people that I can do this. I can do this. I can play the game of basketball. And it was a difficult time for me to choose, but I had to, and I think I made the right choice.
Well,
Talk a little bit about what it was like growing up, with a father who was a Washington Husky, legend, Jock, who was MVP of the Rose Bowl and the Orange Bowl,
yeah,
which is really unheard of, being MVP of 2 bowl games like
Yeah.
that. Those 2 big bowl games.
Nobody's
talk
ever done
about
it either.
exactly.
Nobody's ever done it. Yeah.
So talk a little bit about growing up and what he meant to you and your relationship with your dad.
Man, my relationship with my dad was everything, man. You know, he was in and out of my life because, he had so many things that he was still trying to do. He had a lot of kids to support, me being the oldest. My dad had like 8 kids, 7, 8 kids, man. He provided for everybody, man. He did a good job, the best job he probably could. Uh, but growing up, man, he just always, made sure that I was the oldest. He made sure I took care of my brothers and sisters. He made sure that I worked harder than everybody that I played against. And he just, I want to kind of say he kind of brainwashed me over time, man. He just installed so much great positive energy in me. Always told me I was going to be Nate the Great. Always told me that I'm better than, that you could be better than anybody if you work hard and you do what you're supposed to do. And that's any sport you want to play, not just one sport. He said, son, I'm going to make sure you can play anything. If you want to pick up baseball and play, you could go do it right now. You want to play soccer, anything, you can pick it up like that. And he made me feel like I can do anything. It started from my father. He always told me about staying humble, keeping God first, and giving him the glory when you do something, unbelievable that people don't understand. How can you do something like that? Because God gave me the strength to be able to do this. My dad was like a drill sergeant kind of, man. He used to have me doing things that kind of made me embarrassed as a kid, but I didn't understand it until I got a little older. And then until I started seeing the effect what he was doing to me rubbed off on other people, other kids. So my dad used to coach me when I was a kid. I used to play for his team. And our team was pretty bad. Like, he had me for sure. I was really good, and a couple other kids that were decent. But we were playing in a community center. I grew up in playing in community centers, and my dad wanted to coach, and he coached me and my team. And we were, we would win games. And after every game, he would make me run lines. And, he would make me run and do things that, I didn't want to do. I used to cry. And I used to be embarrassed because, everybody's staring at me while I'm running. I'm crying. And my dad was like, he brought me to the side and be like, why I'm doing this to you? He said, you're going to see one day. You're going to see. And I don't want to tell you what's going to happen. I want you to see it so you can see for yourself. And slowly, after every game we won, or we win or lose, I was running lines. And slowly, 2 guys would join on my team. Another kid would join on my team. And then all of a sudden, we make it to the championship. And my whole team runs lines after we win the championship. Our little, community center championship. All the community centers in the state of Washington. And after the game, my dad brought me to the side again. He's like, now look, son, it started from just you doing it at the beginning. And now look at your whole team, all happy, all doing what you're doing, working hard like you. And now look at the team you guys won. I'm teaching you how to be a leader, not a follower. I want you to lead. I want you to lead by example. And I want you to lead with your voice, be that leader that everybody needs. And I think just being the oldest brother at 8 kids, it was like I was built to be a leader. I was built to be the guy that can go through trials and tribulations, that can take anything and, be able to handle whatever that came to me. And that's what, me and my dad, that's how we bonded. And it was a great relationship, on and off throughout the years. And, I still tease him to this day. And I was like, Dad, I thank you. I thank you. I call him and I just thank him sometimes like, yo, I really thank you for giving me the confidence and making me believe that I could do anything. Like, and I still feel that way to this day. Like, I still feel I can play in the league if I got in shape and do it. Basketball's fun. It's easy. It's not hard to do. You just got to go out there and give it your all and work hard. You know what I'm saying? And put in the work. Now I'm installing that in my kids, my children, to be the same way. I got to kind of tone back a little bit because I have a daughter, and I'm kind of hard on her ass a lot. And I just want the best for her because I want her to see, you're a Robinson. You could be great if you put your mind to it, and if you really want it. Really want it, you'll go get it. You'll do whatever it takes. But I have to do it in a kind of calmer manner than other like my dad. I'm learning.
Hey, Nate, you've always been a guy who gives inspiration and exceeds, and some of the NBA records are pretty awesome. I mean, the 3 slam dunk contests.
Right.
Fourth quarter, 1 more point away from breaking Jordan's fourth quarter record in the playoffs. And also the guy who got charged $25,000 for saying the refs hate me. That's a record too. So,
hey, yeah. So they do though. When I was in the league, man, they never wanted to call fouls for me. They always say they couldn't see it because I'm too little. They always thought, like I said, bro, I don't flop. I'm a football player. I'm not trying to flop. If somebody pushes me, they pushing me, bro. And I'm running so fast, like one little nudge, I'm gonna go flying. So I always teased him, like, man, I had to say it. I said, man, these refs hate me, bro. And all of them, they want to give me text so fast. I say anything. They were so quick to just tech me up or whatever, tell me to shut up. Like, you ain't gonna talk to a grown man like that. Don't tell me to shut up. Like, I'm not trying to hear none of that. So I would bump heads with refs, but they do their job. But I was like, somebody got to heckle them. They mess up just like we do, and they get to just walk free. And NBA seem like they don't do nothing to the refs that when they mess up or do something faulty. We got to wait till a story comes out later, years after, when they refs cheating and doing all kind of stuff. Now you guys see why we be on their ass. So now, what I'm saying, like, we ain't crazy. So, but it is what it is, man. Shout out to the refs, because without them, we don't got an NBA game. We don't got a game. There's no way we playing a game and calling our own fouls. We'll be there forever.
Yeah, that's true.
We'll be there all night, because you used to see games when we play pickup.
Yeah.
We need referees, and when we don't have them, it gets ugly.
Oh, game point, they call a foul.
Call a foul every time. Yes. Oh my God.
It's bad.
It's bad.
Hey, Tim referenced the 3 slam dunk titles, and I know the one that people always remember is with when you jumped over Dwight Howard when he's wearing the Superman cape. Did you guys plan that in advance, or was that kind of an impromptu?
Yeah, we did. I did plan it in advance. I had an idea that I wanted to do, and then I didn't want to ask him over the phone. So when I saw him, when we did our little, dunk contest, we had to come together and do media. We were in the elevator, and I asked him, I said, bro, I got to talk to you, but not with all these people around. And he was like, shoot, cool. He's like, tomorrow when we got time. Because, we all wearing mics and we're doing the interviews and stuff. So I said, all right, bet. So I waited for the dunk contest the next day, the dunk contest on Saturday. And I seen him before we went to go warm up. And I was like, bro, I got this dunk that I want to do. You should let me jump over you. And he was like, word? Can you? First he asked me, can I do it? He was like, can you jump over? I'm 6'12". He teased himself to my he's 6'12". And I was like, man, trust me, I jump over my teammates all the time. Eddie Curry, Jared Jeffries. And I said, Jerome James. I said, bro, come on, bro. I got this. I said, if you agree to this, we're both going to be in the history books. It's going to be one of the best dunks anybody's ever seen, bro. And he was like, all right, let's do it. And I was like, cool. And I got his approval. And I had the Kryptonite green, the Knicks jersey that I wanted to wear. I had Nike make this green Kryptonite basketball with a sleeve and, the shoes. And they Nike came up with the shoes. And it was pretty cool that, Dwight said, yeah. And that's how Kryptonite was born in dunk contest.
Wow.
Yeah, I remember that was big time.
It was pretty cool.
Talk a little bit about coming up in Seattle, because no one ever talks about how many great players come from Seattle. You always hear about New York, California, but man, y'all on the sleep tip, y'all have some players that come out of Seattle.
Hey, listen, I'm gonna tell you like this: my high school alone has 6 or 7 guys that made it to the NBA, and they all went first round.
Wow,
from my high school. So Doug Christie, I think he went 13. He won lottery pick. He went to Rainier Beach in 89 or something like that. 90, I can't remember when. He won state. Jamal Crawford, 98. He won state. He won lottery. I think he was like 6 or 7. Myself, I went 21. Terrence Williams, he went 6 or something like that.
Yep.
Not Marv. Who's after that is Baby Boy. Baby Boy went first round. And then KP, Kevin Porter, he went first round. I think he was 29th or 30th pick. And we all went first round. That's just from Seattle. That's just from south side of Seattle. But that's not Franklin, who had Jason Terry, Aaron Brooks. Not Garfield, who had Brandon Roy. Who else did they have? They had Brandon Roy. They had Eason from Rockets. Who else they have? Wow. They had missing somebody who went to Garfield. God, I can't even think of his name. He went to UW too. He played for the Minnesota Timberwolves. What number is he? 5? I think number 5. He was number 5.
There's just a lot. There's a lot of guys from
so many guys,
from
man.
Washington that
we just
don't really. They don't really talk about it. Zach's from there. Zach
Which is
Levine was
who?
from there.
Yeah, Zach Levine from Bothell.
DeJounte Murray.
Yeah, from Seattle.
Banchero's from there. I mean,
Yep,
there is a ton of Washington players that you never hear anyone talk. They always talk, New York, LA, Chicago. They never talk about Washington, man. That is unbelievable.
They don't want to, man. They don't want us to be good and great, man, but they can't deny us. That's one thing I love about guys that come from Washington. They rep it well.
Yeah.
And it's undeniable. There's something that you can't deny them, no matter who it is. Isaiah Thomas from Tacoma, Avery Bradley. This goes on. I mean, Rodney Stuckey.
Tony Roten.
Tony Roten from there?
Yeah.
Yep, Tony Roten. That's my little
cousin. That's your cousin. Isn't that
that's
your
my little cousin.
Yeah.
So yeah, he made it. He was a great player.
6'6".
Who else? Scalabrini. I can't forget White Mamba. You gave him a name.
The White Mamba, baby.
White Mamba is from Enumclaw, Washington.
I did not know that.
Me? Yes, bro.
I did not know that.
He's from Cowtown, where it smells like cow.
I thought he was from California because he went to USC, so I thought he was from Cali.
Nah, he's not from Cali. He's from Washington.
Wow.
Luke Ridnour from Washington. What's the one kid's name?
Terrence Ross. Terrence Ross is from there.
Nah, he's from Portland, but I say Pacific Northwest. You can say Pacific Northwest. I'll take him. We'll take him though. Okay. He went to UW. Well, we'll take Terrence. Dan Dickow. Yup. What's the one kid's name that went to? Is Joe Harris? Joe Harris. He's from Washington.
Detlef Shrimp.
Yeah, he's from Washington. And what's the one kid's name that played at Gonzaga? Kispert.
Oh, Corey
Kispert.
Yep.
Kispert.
He's from Washington.
Man.
We got some ballers, man. We got some guys, bro.
They've been sleeping on Washington, baby.
Sleeping.
Man, they better wake up. Because it's
Spencer
like
Haas, Martell Webster, Terrence Williams.
Oh my goodness.
Man, I can go on and on, bro. It's a long list of guys, bro. But it's just for us, Jamal, guys like Jason Terry, guys like Doug Christie, they gave us a blueprint, bro. When they had open gyms, we were all there as kids. We was all there watching. We was all there learning. We was all, you know what I'm saying? Like every time when Jamal came back from college or he came back from the NBA, he came to our open gyms. He would hoop. He made it possible, made us believe that we can get to where he's at.
That's awesome.
So that's why and then when we play, we had pro-am, we had, we hoop and we have private hoop sessions. Jamal, Isaiah, we always against each other. And we get the younger guys come in and let them play, like Paulo. He been hooping with us since he was a kid. He was kind of big kid, you can see, as you can see, but he played, man, and he held his own. Knew he was gonna be ready.
Wow.
Hey, Nate, I got to ask you about one of the greatest what-if stories here in the city of Chicago, and obviously something you're familiar with. Derrick Rose came into the league with so much fanfare and had the unfortunate knee injuries. That was, of course, one of the reasons why you came to Chicago, because they wanted somebody to fill in when he was rehabbing from the ACL. I know you played against him. You saw him rehabbing in your season in Chicago. How good could Derrick Rose have been if he didn't have the unfortunate knee injuries?
Oh, man, we'll be talking about him being one of the greatest point guards to ever play the game. I mean, he showed you guys by winning MVP at youngest MVP ever. I know that's hard to do. His work ethic, how quiet and calm he was. He was different than what most superstars were. He just wanted to hoop. He don't like if that's one person that didn't want to do media and didn't have to do media, he wouldn't even bother. He just want to play basketball. He want to show up, come to work, do his thing, work hard, go home with his family. You know what I'm saying? And I respect that to the fullest.
And he was rehabbing while you were playing. What was his attachment with the team? Was it difficult for him trying to get himself right while you guys were battling and trying to advance in the playoffs?
Man, honestly, when he got cleared to play, but he was still, he's still working out. He scrimmaged with us, and we thought he dunking, doing everything. He was like, damn. The rehab and everything he did was looking like it was working. It was strong. It was everything. But I know how it feels to tear your ACL and then have to come back and you're like, you're clear, but you're still mentally not ready. You know what I'm saying? And it took him a while just to get back to where he was, feeling like him again, and just felt like Chicago kind of gave up on him when they traded him. Now I know that feeling too, when you're traded to somewhere where you really want to be, but they don't believe in you no more. And it's a business. NBA is a business. We understand that. But, getting the opportunity to go to another place and play and, do and ball out. I think he had, a 50-point game or something one game.
Minnesota.
yeah, he had that very touching interview afterwards, man. It was very touching. It made everybody want to shed a tear, man. So, I felt that. I felt that before. I felt that pain. I felt that not to embrace everything that you have to go in and show people that you are who you say you are.
And
Yeah,
it's
that's tough. That was a tough situation for him because people always been writing him off, and he's going to get a chance now with Ja Morant being out for about 30 games. He's going to get an opportunity in Memphis where he went to college. He's going to get a
Yeah,
chance
that's gonna be nice.
He's going to get a chance to
I
lead
can't wait
them.
to see him play,
I
man.
can't wait for him to show all the critics because he didn't get to play in New York. Everybody kept saying he's done and all this, and
Right.
New York wanted to play their younger guy. Tibbs was kind of forced to play their younger guys, and it wasn't the fact that Derrick couldn't play, but that's the narrative people took. But they're going to see a different Derrick Rose when he gets a chance to play them 30 games with Ja Morant being out.
Yeah, man, I think it's going to be good for him to be there, be a mentor for Ja, because he needs it. He needs somebody like D Rose have been there, been through, and really lived that life that he's portraying that he lived. Like somebody that's probably really been in the, in and out of the streets, throughout his life because of, of how he had to live and how he had to grow up. Somebody that really grew up in the projects in the hood. You know what I'm saying? So, he can probably mentor him, mentor Ja, keep his head right, make him, show him what it's looking like, what it works hard, how to be a professional, how to bounce back from, a different circumstance, but yet coming from the same place, and I think Derrick will do a good job with touching that kid's heart, man, and really showing him that, and it's about, it's about these fans, man. It's about us playing the game that we love and being there for each other, bro, because people don't understand how hard it is being who we are. We don't really have too many people that's going to listen and not be yes man for us because we're always told yes, yes, yes all the time to our friends and family. Like, we don't need that. You know what I'm saying? We need somebody that can really be a person that can be a real motivator, a shoulder to somebody that you can vent to, that you can talk to. A guy on my team that I had was somebody like that was Malik Rose. He didn't take no shit. Went around. He didn't want to. It's time to work. It's time to work. When it's time to play, it's time to play. He helped me understand that. Because when I came in the league, all I was doing was joking, laughing, I was 20 years old, silly. I was a silly kid. And Malik was like, no, I'm going to teach you how to be a man. I'm going to teach you how to be a professional because you don't know how to do it. And I don't blame you because you're coming from college. You're a young kid. You know what I'm saying? You're good. You're fresh rookie, learning the NBA, making it to somewhere where you thought, you wanted to go as a kid. Like, I understand. I'm not going to fault you for that, but I'm going to show you. And he said it'll be my fault for not showing you when I'm a vet. And I've been there before. I've learned from Tim Duncan and different guys. And he was telling me, and Sean Elliott, he was telling me all about learning from different guys and all the OGs. So I was like, man, I'm going to listen to him. He invited me to his house in Harlem. I used to catch the train down there and eat with him and, learn from him. And I take my hat off to Malik Rose, man. And I gave him the shirt off my back because he showed me what it's like to be a professional. And that's what John needs.
So Nate, everyone loves looking at your highlights of some of your great blocks and dunks. I mean, over Yao Ming and of course LeBron James. But I'd love to hear some more about that. And then also, you got to tell us about Shrek and Donkey. What's the backstory on that?
Man, honestly, man, during that time, me and Baby, we were just two young energy guys ready to get in the game and play. We wanted to show the team, what we can do to help this team win, and playing in the finals. Not too many people get the opportunity to play in the finals. Playing against somebody like the Lakers and Kobe Bryant, rest in peace. It was such an honor, such a beyond, to share the same court as him, trying to play for a championship. I never forget that. And me and Big Baby, I think it was game 4. Me and him, or it was game 5, one of the two. I can't remember what game it was. But me and him showed up, got an opportunity to play. And when we were hooping and we was on the bench, me and him was laughing at each other. We were like, bro, I think they're going to put us on a podium, to do the interviews after the game. And we were laughing. They were like, nah, they're not going to have us do it. Like, not me and you. He was like, I said, bro, we might be able to go and do the podium, bro. I was like, to me, I thought that was like the coolest thing to talk, in the playoffs. You're in the championship, you get to talk, you make the podium. So after the game, we won. We had a good game, and then the media came in the locker room and asked for Nate and Baby. And I looked at them and I said, "I told you." I said, "Let's go." We ran down there. We was laughing, joking. We ran down there, and they was doing the interview. And I'm like, I was because I watched that movie so much with my kids. I have 2 at that time I had 3 young kids, and they loved Shrek and Donkey. That was like that was their guys. And it just came to me, and I said, dang, baby, we like Shrek and Donkey. You like Big Shrek, and I'm like the donkey that never shuts up and is talking like Eddie Murphy. And he was like, bro, that's right, we are like that. Then the next game, they had Shrek and Donkey shirts with me and baby's face on them. People were making shirts. They had posters. Like, we were signing Shrek and Donkey posters and shirts. It was crazy. And I was like, bro, that was pretty cool, man, to be a part of the finals like that, to have an effect on the game, to play at the highest level against arguably one of the best players in the world ever. It was just a dream come true, man. You couldn't write that up in a script in a movie. And me, after that, I just thank God, like, man, thank you for just showing me so much more than what I anticipated throughout my life. I was happy, bro. I was truly honored and happy to play and be a part of the finals at that time.
Man, go get your daughter, man. I know you gotta go get your daughter.
Yeah, I do.
Man.
I do.
Yeah,
we're gonna see mom here. She came up here.
They can see you. Yeah, I saw it. She tried to creep in. She tried to creep in slowly, like she was doing a drive-by.
She tried to creep in slow. All right, yeah, I do gotta go.
All right, we're gonna send you some of Stacey's signature hot sauce.
Hey, let me know call me whenever you want me on, bro.
I appreciate
I'll do anything, bro. Just understand that, bro. I appreciate the Mr. Excitement. People still call me that when they see me, which is cool. So I love that nickname. And whenever you want me on your show, bro, I'm available for you.
I appreciate that, Nate.
Yes, sir.
All right, big dog.
All right, guys.
Thanks so much.
Yep.
Nate Robinson, our special guest on Gimme the Hot Sauce. We're going to talk a little NFL when we return on episode 144. Keep it right here. We had a ton of fun talking to Mr. Excitement, Nate Robinson. What a great guest he was. And Tim, I know we're going to send him some of Stacey's signature hot sauce. Tell the folks via Christopher Walken how they can get their own bottles.
Yeah, well, Mark, it's my favorite time of year because it's grilling time. And it's time to get some barbecue sauce going. Normally, I'm standing out there with a little Foo Fighters playing. But this year, I'm so excited with Mexican independence coming at the same time. I might put on some Fat Boy Slim and do one of my famous dances while I'm putting some grills on the, ribs on the grill. My apologies.
Or grills on the ribs.
Grills on the ribs, because I have done that too.
Oh, my.
Hey,
this guy.
That's enough from you.
Stacey, he was practicing this for a long time.
No.
He wasn't on last week, so he had to make sure that he extended version of Christopher Walken.
After 7 days, I still didn't get it right.
Well, I'll tell you what. He's looking like Larry the Lobster. He might want to do that impersonation. Just like do his little hands like this.
So, Chris, how can the folks who don't live in the Chicagoland area get themselves a bottle of hot sauce?
You can always go to the Jewels, and then
But
you
they
can
don't
go
live
to,
in Chicagoland.
Well, then you got to go online, Mark.
All right.
And I've been telling these people for weeks, if they had done it a couple of weeks ago, they could have some free barbecue sauce for the weekend to dress up their ribs. And you can still do that by putting in walk-in queue on any order to get a free bottle. And that's at GimmeTheHotSauce.com. That's GIMME, if you can't spell.
Is that Slacker Whispers going to wrap it up for you?
Yeah, he'll be packing. I mean,
he's always packing.
Does a terrible job.
He's always packing. Always. He loves to pack. Loves to pack it.
That's right. And sometimes I go to the King's house and cause some damage.
No, you don't. No, you don't. You don't go to my house. Don't even try. No,
you're talking about Whispers. He's not invited, but I'm always there.
Listen, I haven't been invited to any barbecues over Whispers. I haven't been invited to the boat. Mark, you haven't been invited to anything.
No, that's true. But you can go pick up your sauce at GimmeTheHotSauce.com, as you mentioned, and you got some exciting news that Jewel's going to be carrying all varieties pretty soon, right?
That's right. I think in time for Christmas.
Dun, 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 dun. Well, breaking news. We got
1871, the Q. It's finally going to happen. It's time to put on Foo Fighters.
Fighters. Get over here. Over there.
So we're going to send some sauce out to Crypto Nate. We'll get Whispers working and get that out to him. Hey, you guys want to talk some UFC? You want to start with that?
Oh,
Wait for Mark Grody here?
Oh, the Sugar Show, baby. If you ain't on the Sugar Show right now, baby, you're missing out. Sugar Shot O'Malley, baby. It ain't no joke. Better get on board. Better get on board, boy. That boy got some hands of stone. Boy, he putting people to sleep.
He should come and dress as a Joker next fight.
Hey, listen, man. Hey, people start teasing about his hairdo, but hey, the pink hair and all that stuff. But that kid can fight, man. That kid, he's got to avenge the one loss that he got, which was like really, he got hurt in that fight. Cheeto Vera. He's got to get that rematch back with him. He called him out after the last fight. And, Aljamain Sterling is not no chump. I mean, he beat a very good champion. I mean, this is a guy who just beat, Henry Cejudo, who's like one of the best Olympic wrestlers of all time, dominated the UFC when he was at his reign, just dominated him. And then I don't think anybody gave, Sean O'Malley a chance to win. And, man, he proved everybody wrong.
Yeah, you go back in those old videos and they talk about this little skinny kid with the heavy hands, and they're not kidding. He's proving it at the highest levels now.
We just got too much noise going on at the King household right now. The dogs are barking. We got people moving around. Listen, I got to get back to the studio, man. You got the dogs over here barking. I got my son walking around, opening up packages. Like, come on, man. I'm on doing a podcast, bro. I gotta put up a sign. Please be quiet.
Yeah, put some clothes on, boy.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, ain't that type of party up in here, okay? Everybody's dressed here. Okay, we're not packing hot sauce anywhere, bro.
We mentioned that Nate had to run because he had to pick up one of his kids from school, and he also has a son who is going to play football at Colorado for Deion Sanders. He's a freshman there right now, and Tim, you were saying that he's about Nate's size.
Yeah, he's 5'9", built the same way. Looks like a little powerhouse like his dad.
Explosive.
Yeah.
What do you think? What do you think about what Deion's doing at Colorado, Stacey? Basically, put all the scholarship kids on notice last year when he was hired, saying, "Hey, you might want to update your resumes and check out the transfer portal." And I know that a lot of the kids left, but the ones that are staying, that they could be part of something special because Deion is a guy that's been successful in everything he's done in his life, and I don't think he's about to start failing now.
Well, I mean, the transfer portal has really helped Deion Sanders. I mean, it's helped a lot of the college universities get the players that they want. Guys are transferring. The one thing I don't like about the portal is that, these kids, if they don't get their way and they're not playing their first year or they're not playing the position they want, they just decide to leave. I like it to the fact that if a coach leaves and they recruited you, you should be able to leave. That's what I think the portal should be made for. If you recruit me and say you're Nick Saban, you recruit me to Alabama and then you leave after my first year, then I should be able to get into the portal and then go somewhere else because my coach who recruited me left. This leaving every year, there's some people that played on two or three teams.
Yeah.
We had a point guard at Oklahoma that played, he left Oklahoma in the portal. And, he ended up at Oregon, then he ended up at like Texas Tech somewhere, and now he's somewhere else, like a third team. It's like, okay, the portal's got to close. Like, because what it's doing is it's really killing the high school basketball. The superstar high school players are going to have no problem getting to schools, but it's those kids that kind of get overlooked because now the portal system is like the old junior college used to be back in the 80s when you recruit Larry Johnsons and the Harvey Grants and guys like that who were junior college All-Americans. You're bringing those kids into your program now as juniors, and they're ready to play right out the box. So now the portal is doing the exact same thing. Is you're getting these transfer students that are coming over that have at least 2 years experience, and now you don't need the freshman. Now you don't need to go out and go get a freshman. You've got the same kind of player that's got 2 years experience on a Division I roster. Now he feels a need for you. Experience, a guy that can go out there and do some things for you. I think it really hurts the high school game, if you ask me.
This is the first full weekend of college football. Had a couple of games last week that were interesting. I mean, Notre Dame routed Navy, and USC won their opener. Caleb Williams throwing 4 touchdown passes. This week we got LSU against Florida State, 5-8. That's probably the best game on the schedule. What are you looking forward to watching this weekend, college football-wise, Stace?
You know what? I'm just glad football's on. I mean, I wish the pro game was going on, but they're doing that, that preseason. And you're not really seeing all the stars play a lot. But in college, every game's important now because, they're going to come out of these first games. There's going to be some hard hitting. There's going to be some, game scheming because it's very important, especially, Mark, that you're playing these ranked teams. Like you said, Florida State versus LSU. You lose that game, you're not necessarily out of it, but you put yourself behind the 8 ball right out the box. So that game's going to be so important. Every game you see a big team play. I mean, USC, even though they handled the team they were playing, was it San Jose State?
San
they were
Jose
playing?
State, yeah.
Yeah, even though they handled them, that game was close for a while. Like, I was like looking around, like, man, they only up 7. Like, are they going to lose this game? And then they ended up, the athletes for USC ended up taking over. But Caleb Williams looked nice, man. I mean, they're talking about Arizona's tanking now to get him.
Yeah.
They're not really happy with Kyler Murray. And so they're talking about that Arizona is now tanking. I mean, they cut Colt McCoy, who, as Kyler Murray's going to be out. He's on the PUP list, so he's not going to be back till week 5. And they cut the one veteran quarterback that they had that started games in this league. They cut him. So it looks like they're kind of doing that NFL tanking thing.
Yeah, they're either going to start Joshua Dobbs, who played at Tennessee and has bounced around a little bit in the NFL, or a guy named Tommy Toon. They might as well start Looney Tunes if they want to.
Tommy Two Tunes.
What do you think about
Caleb
Williams, though, doing
he might be
national
Looney
ads?
Tunes, baby.
That's right.
But you know what, though?
You guys see that?
You know what, though? They may find a Purdy. They may find a Purdy out there. You never know. I mean, you look at Purdy. I mean, Purdy was like last on the depth chart. Then he's the starter. They end up trading Trey Lance to Dallas, who was their number 1 pick. What was he, the 5th pick in the NFL draft? And they end up trading him because a guy that basically they picked up in at the end of the draft ended up being better than all the quarterbacks they had on the roster. Now Dallas has him. And so what does that do with Dak Prescott? It puts him on notice. Like, hey, look, man, yeah, we've been 12-4 the last 2 seasons, but we can't get to the Super Bowl. You throw too many interceptions.
Yeah.
So now, and there's no one behind him. There's really no one behind him. The Cooper Rush kid played really well, but Dak wasn't intimidated by that. Now you bring in a lottery pick dude, 6'4", 6'5", got a cannon of an arm, athletic type of guy, and Jerry Jones went out and got him. Jerry Jones didn't even tell anybody he was going to trade for him. He didn't even go to Dak and say, hey, Dak, let me tell you something, man. We're getting ready to trade for this Trey Lance. What you think? He didn't tell anybody. They read about it like on the news, the sports radio, and you can imagine what Dak Prescott was feeling at the time. Like, whoa, okay. So he's got to show up this year.
Speaking of quarterbacks, how about the Bears? They cut P.J. Walker to keep the unknown from a little Shepherd College, Tyson Bagent. Secret Bagent man is going to be the backup quarterback. It's pretty cool.
Well, from what I hear about him, the scouts loved him. They're the Bears, like internal people who went out and scouted him. Was he Division 2, 3?
Yeah,
they went
Division
down
2.
and scouted. Yeah, they went down and scouted him, and then they saw him at the Senior Bowl, and he just like wowed them with his ability. And they came back raving about him. And he could be one of those guys. I mean, like, hey, Purdy, San Francisco. You never know. Justin Fields gets hurt because the offensive line breaks down, and he's running for his life, and he gets hurt. You got a veteran in Peterman there, but how long would that last before they say, hey, let's see if we got a Purdy guy on our team.
What a perfect time to bring in our Bears expert, Mark Grody of The Score, who's been working hard. Hey, this guy works hard every day, 24/7, giving you the best Bears news on The Score. And it's been an interesting cut period. There weren't a lot of big names that were let go. Travis Gibson, probably the biggest, along with P.J. Walker. We're just talking about the quarterback situation with the secret agent man, Tyson Bagent, being the backup. What's your take on that whole situation?
Yeah, I mean, I can't believe we got to this point, honestly. I've sort of been, in my own little way, fighting against that possibility that a 4th-string quarterback, or at least that's what he initially was, could make his way up the rankings, just because, unfortunately, I know you guys have, and anybody listening here or has followed the Bears through the years, we've been here before where it's been nondescript quarterback that everybody has called for. But guess what? Tyson Bagent has forced me. He has forced a lot of people to look at him differently. And I'll be damned if this guy did not earn a spot on the roster. And I think it's legitimate. Now, they did bring back Nathan Peterman to the roster as well. And I did ask, so what's the depth chart behind Justin Fields? And right now, they're not telling us between PJ Walker, between Bagent and Peterman at this point.
Yeah.
Well, one of the things I read, Mark, was that they did some extensive research on Bagent. They went, they watched him at his school. They watched him at the Senior Bowl. And if they came back, the head guy was their head scout guy, Jeff King, came back and really spoke highly of this kid. Like, he was wowed by his ability, and it looks like he was right.
Absolutely. It's a great point. Not just him, but also Luke Getsy, the Bears offensive coordinator, to your point at the Senior Bowl. He was the head coach
Yes.
at the Senior Bowl. So he got to see him up front and close. When we asked Getsy about that, he was pretty modest about it, saying, no, I wasn't pushing it. He gave credit to other scouts and to King and those guys to make sure that they knew that that's where the credit belonged. But they've been watching him. And, some of the things about him is that he is super smart. He's been able to process a lot, whereas a lot of young rookie quarterbacks, especially those that come from a Division II school, Shepherd, like he did in West Virginia, it takes a long time to catch up with the speed in practice and then in actual games. And he has passed all those tests so far, whether physically or mentally. And he seems to have the emotional part of the game down. He's good with the media, which you absolutely have to be if you're going to be a quarterback in Chicago. So, he just keeps checking boxes, guys.
Hey, tell us about the kick returner that the Bears picked up on waivers, because I'll tell you what, Velus Jones Jr. scares the heck out of me every time the ball's in the air. They might as well put whispers back there on punt returns the way he catches the ball. Tell us about Trent Taylor.
Yeah, you know what, Mark, you put it perfectly, because I every time I've had an open mic over, since training camp has started, my thought has been, stop forcing Velus Jones to be your punt returner. Velus Jones may have value on the Bears, but it is not as a punt returner. He muffs a punt in a preseason game. He muffed one during training camp. It's like, all right, please just end this. So finally, and it looked like maybe they would go in-house. DJ Moore got some shots at punt returning, but we all know that we don't want him to be doing that job because he's so valuable as a receiver. Tyler Scott did it in the game last week. And now they have signed Trent Taylor, who was something of a surprise cut from Cincinnati, just because he was one of, he's a top 15 punt returner, averaging about 12 or 13 yards per punt return. So he is very adept at it. He said that one of the reasons that he thinks he's good at being a punt returner and having, being able to judge that football and catch that football is because he played a lot of center field when he played baseball in high school and throughout a lot of his life. So what you have in Trent Taylor is a real adult punt returner who not only is going to just catch the football, but he is also one of the better punt returners in the league. They had Dante Pettis doing it last year. He was fine at it, but it was more just because he was sure-handed. Now you have a guy that is sure-handed and can produce yards and give you field position, which is obviously the name of the game.
Now, are we going to get a little bit more of the first team offense and first team defense in the next preseason game, and where we can get a little bit more of an idea, because it doesn't seem
Stacey, they're done. They're done with preseason.
Oh wow.
It's all over, baby. It's all over.
2 games?
Yeah, no.
Thanks, Mark.
It's time for the hot sauce, baby. It's time for the real stuff.
So Mark, I mean, what did you take away? Because I wasn't really impressed too much about the preseason. You didn't see enough of anybody. So how are they gonna how do you know you cover them? What do you think just from those 2 games that you thought okay, this looks good, this doesn't look good?
Yeah, I mean, we don't know. I mean, in the final preseason game that they played, Justin Fields and the first string offense, to your point, got in, and they were 3 and out first 2 drives, setting up a 3rd and 10 and 3rd and 11. And in both those cases, they were not able to convert. There were enough nice moments throughout training camp and in those 2 games with DJ Moore and Khalil Herbert having the 2 explosive plays in that first game. But yeah, it's always a crapshoot the way, for most teams, and I know we're talking specifically about the Bears, but the Bears just don't play their starters a lot. So it's for a lot of guys on this team, the offensive line, the defensive players, all these guys who have been hurt, all of a sudden it's lights, camera, action, and it's full speed. The good news about it is that we found out yesterday, and this surprised me, that all the guys, because the Bears were averaging 15 to 20 guys a day on that injury report, and now all of a sudden it has dwindled down to 1 guy, and that's Jaquan Brisker, who was on the injury report. So they're healthy, but in terms of what we're going to see, it's kind of a mystery.
Hey, Mark, looking at our feel-good Super Bowl for the first week here, ESPN ranked Jordan Love above Justin Fields. out of the preseason. So what are your thoughts on that?
I mean, like, as a person who grew up a massive Bears fan and now is covering the Bears closely for the last 5 to 6 years, we have been traumatized and abused by Packers quarterbacks, obviously starting with Brett Favre and then on to Aaron Rodgers. So it would just be so perfect that Jordan Love would have next. I don't know where they're getting that, quite frankly, because in the times that I've seen Jordan Love get into games, he's not been particularly impressive. If they're going out what they've seen in the preseason, then I guess that's fine. I guess they're taking that more seriously than maybe we're taking what happens in the preseason. And I know that we do take a lot of it seriously. I will say this, while I do think it's kind of crazy to anoint Jordan Love as better than Justin Fields or ranked higher, as you said, at ESPN, Justin Fields still got a ton to prove, man. And we know what he can do with his legs. Now it's a matter of, are we going to see him go to that next level passing the football?
Well, if it's true, I'm putting an ice pick in my temple.
Hey, Stacey might help you with that.
He might.
Yeah, you ain't got to worry about that, baby. You don't even got to watch the game and get that result. I'll do it for you.
Wow, I don't know the inner workings of this show.
Hey, you'll learn.
Offering
30 years of abuse between these guys. It's probably 32 years by now, right?
Oh, at least. Feels like 60.
Hey, Mark, thank you so much for joining us. We'll have you back next week. We'll break down the Bears-Packers matchup. In case folks don't know, or I have a schedule in front of them, it's a 3:25 kickoff at Soldier Field on September 10th. So we're all looking forward to that. We'll break it down next week on Gimme the Hot Sauce. Mark Grody, thank you so much for bringing us up to date on what's going on
Mark.
with
Thanks,
the
Mark.
Chicago
My pleasure,
Bears.
guys. See you next week.
Hey, time now for one of our favorite segments on the show. It's What Are We Watching? Brought to you by our friends at Biggers Mazda. Their sizzling new Elgin location at Randall Road is the biggest Mazda store in the state of Illinois. Biggers now offering a bottle of Stacey's signature hot sauce with first test drives of new or pre-owned vehicles. It's your choice, everything from the coolest SUVs to the stunning Miata. Join the fun at 2100 Randall Road in Elgin at Biggers Mazda. I'm going to start us off. Billions is back.
Oh, man.
Bobby Axelrod is back.
So good to see him, isn't it?
And it's good again. It was kind of slow those 2 years where you had Mike as the big villain, but now it's been fun. He hasn't been featured a lot, but obviously in the big episodes at the finish, you know it's going to be him against Chuck at the end.
Yeah, and you can't beat Chuck Rhodes, and it seems like Mike Prince is even inspired.
Yeah,
So,
he's trying to hang on.
Yeah, running for president, just an evil guy.
Yeah,
Right.
and he already fell into Chuck's trap. You know, you knew that he was going to stumble into it.
Yeah,
Chuck's got his job back as the Southern New York District AG. So
how he moved those
Is he
chess
still?
pieces around.
I haven't watched it in a while. Is he
oh,
still
all
a
right, we
freak?
don't want to spoil it for you.
No. But is he still a freak though? Is he still getting beat up with?
They haven't shown that yet, Stacey, but
No.
maybe
He's
they'll
like
bring that
S&M?
back. Maybe they'll bring that back.
No stilettos and leather yet, but it's
listen,
coming.
The very first episode I saw Chuck, he had he was tied up,
Yeah,
Had a ball gag.
the ball in his mouth, and then I was like, "What kind of show is this?" I'm like, and he's an accomplished actor,
Right.
Paul, what's his
Paul
last name?
Giamatti.
Giamatti.
Yeah.
He's an accomplished, and I'm like seeing that. I'm like, whoa, this is like Whispers kind of show here. It's kind of freaky.
I couldn't turn it off.
I wonder if they had to talk him into that role, doing that scene.
No, I think he
Man.
looked very comfortable.
Yeah, he did. He looked like he had a ball in his mouth before. That was a scary thing. He looked like he'd been there before.
Either he's been there
Like
before or he's
hog-tied.
that good of an actor, one or the other.
I hope it's
Yeah.
the latter.
He's hog-tied, baby. Hog-tied.
Blink twice. Hey, Whispers, what do you got for the folks?
On which part?
What are we watching?
Oh,
It was
geez.
Billions. We were the same.
Oh, okay.
I've been hooked. Yeah, it's right away. I ran right through all the first three that they put out.
Yeah, I watched. By the way, I watched the Flash movie yesterday on HBO.
That's terrible.
You didn't like it?
wasn't that great. No.
Well,
It's
maybe
terrible.
I was
It much
expecting it to be
about
so
nothing,
bad. I expected it to be so bad that I think I was pleasantly
Michael
surprised.
Keaton was okay.
Yeah, he was
doing the
great when he
Batman
showed up
thing.
with
Yeah.
as an old guy, and then
But the Flash, it just the whole timeline thing got a little tired.
that did they dragged it out. They could have cut out 30, 40 minutes easily.
Yeah. Stacey, what do you got for the folks?
That's a good question.
What have you been watching? Nothing but sports, or we got something?
No,
different?
no,
I'm
no.
watching Millions.
No, I've been watching been watching some reruns of some stuff, man. Like, like I said, I'm back into the Boardwalk Empire.
Yeah.
I finished watching that. I'm trying to get into the painkiller thing. Was it the painkiller?
Oh, that
Is
was
what it's
great.
called?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Netflix.
just started watching that. I told you I watched the movie with Jennifer Lawrence in it. She was trying. I forgot the name of that movie. I just had it too, but she was
that
like,
good, right?
it was terrible. The only good thing about it, honestly, only good thing about it was because she directed it, and so the only good thing about it was, she was nude in it.
Well, at least we got to the truth.
She
Full
had a
frontal, huh?
She had a full frontal, and I'm telling you, America. I did not change the channel. I was about ready to change the channel on that scene. I was like, man, this is garbage. So I'm getting ready to change how I see her streaking across the beach. I'm like, oh Lord, have mercy. Oh Lord, keep the channel
Two
going. Is there more of
enthusiastic
this?
thumbs up.
Yeah, then it went back to being a Ed movie.
Hey, before we get out of here, tell the good folks about Windy City Limousine, how they can get.
Hold up, let me get my read.
Oh,
You got the read? Oh,
Yeah, I got it.
Stacey's
No,
got
I
it.
got
All
it.
right.
It's almost
I
like
got
he's
it, baby.
prepared.
Hold on. Don't sleep on me, baby. Hold on. I got it. Oh, y'all ready?
Yeah, we're ready.
Windy City Limousine provides championship service. Making a reservation is so easy, it's a slam dunk. Let Windy City break the full court pressure of traffic and get you to your destination on style and on time. Contact us at 847-916-9300 or visit windycitylimos.com. Tell them Whisper sent you. You might not get a discount. Matter of fact, they might tell you that they don't have any cars to service you, but hey, just try it.
One last order of business before we say goodbye. My congratulations to my son Eric and his lovely bride Mary. We had a beautiful festivity in Milwaukee last weekend. And if you're watching on YouTube, our guy Cisco is going to show you a couple of pictures. The first one he's showing is the picture of our family. My lovely wife Susan is on the far left or right, depending which way. Well, actually, we should make sure we get the right direction. On my right, and my daughter Brooke on my left, and then the happy couple in the middle. And then there's a tight shot of the bride and groom. It was a wonderful time we had in the loft on Broadway in Milwaukee. Had a wonderful time. Stacey, it was so much fun. Even the old man got on the dance floor, so it was a party.
And you didn't pull a hammy.
No, I didn't get hurt.
That's a good sign, baby.
You look good, Mark. You dress up nice.
Yeah. It was a great time.
Did you have Did your daughter make the green bean casserole?
Yeah, she put it in her purse.
Brooke,
she stowed it away.
Brooke is watching the show because she's a loyal watcher and listener, and she's not appreciating these comments that Whispers are talking about her green bean casserole. Okay, so when she makes some, make sure you make a special batch for him, Brooke. He has to go to the bathroom every 5 seconds. Put a laxative in there, mix it in there with all that other stuff you put in. He'll never know.
And I taught her the throat punch, so you're in trouble.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure I am. I'll bet.
Yeah.
You got all kinds of people coming after you.
A long list.
Yeah, get in line. Everybody's after Whispers.
Well, Stacey, we hope we see you in studio next week. We're still trying to get some planning done. We will let you know exactly when that's coming at you. We'll give you a couple days warning, so follow us on social media.
Well, we have to change the date because Stacey's doing a burger tasting with Kerry Woods at the Cubs game next week.
That'll be fun.
Or Sutter Home
I'll be at the Cubs game next week, America.
The Red Hot Cubs and the Red Hot sauce.
Oh, we'll have a hot sauce out there too. Oh, it's gonna be nice.
Perfect combination.
And if you bought a bottle of hot sauce, baby, you want it signed, catch me on the streets, baby. I'll be walking around, baby, out there.
And remember, starting on
man of the people.
Starting on September 11th, our show taping is going to move to Mondays, so we can catch you at the beginning of the week, and you can download it and enjoy it on your way to work or way home or during your lunch hour, and we'll just preview all the events that are coming up in the week ahead. So, Stacey, look forward to seeing you in studio real soon, and you got any advice for the folks on the way out?
Drive home safely, Chicago. Beep, beep.
Thanks, everybody. We'll see you next week.
Oh, my goodness. It's only preseason, but I'm hyped, Neil.